Hello, welcome back to the shed in the garden at the house that sat down. Now it's quite a hot day today, the sort of day that I would usually have spent down at the beach. But as I can't get to the beach, I thought I would sketch the beach instead. But I did have a slight technical hitch in that my new phone was videoing everything inverted. So as you watch the sketch, it looks like I can draw with my left hand, which I can't. But anyway, I hope you enjoy it anyway. Here we go. So we're going to be sketching a little figure of a little girl on the beach wearing a sun hat. You can see the sun hat appearing now, and she's going to be using a stick to draw her name in the sand. Now when it comes to drawing figures, a lot of people get put off because they feel that they can't do faces. This sort of an issue can be overcome by your choice of subject and the angle at which you choose to draw them. For example, with this one, the little girl's hat will actually cover the majority of her facial features, so I don't have to worry about making her face look like who she is. I'm just trying to capture the essence of her having fun at the beach. And I'm starting with very, very light strokes, just building up the figure. And actually, in essence, what I'm really drawing is a hat, a t-shirt, and a pair of shorts, with the corresponding arms and legs that stick out of them. So I'm not actually drawing very much of the figure, more the basic shapes and the shadows, and of course the stick that she's using in the sand. I'm not trying to put too much detail in at the moment. I tend to flit around the whole drawing and build it up fairly slowly with light strokes, so that I can be certain on the proportions that I'm using. And I very often will put very light strokes in and then build up with darker ones over the top. And then you don't really have to spend a lot of time rubbing things out because it's really only the darker strokes that we take too much notice of. A simple composition is usually a good one, especially when you are drawing children. Because children are notorious for not keeping still, it's usually a good idea to do a lot of lightning quick sketches to begin with. Not all of them will work, but then you can gather those all up and work out the pieces of them that do work and use them as the basis for your final work. Often I used to find that I would sketch an awful lot at the beach, come home with lots and lots of different versions, and then when it was quieter and maybe the children had gone to bed, I could work up a full sketch that really encapsulated the time at the beach. And of course, once you've worked out your pencil sketch, it's quite fun to then go and do something similar, either in watercolours or even oils or acrylics. I do find that watercolours work very well for paintings of children, though, simply because of the lightness of the colours. It just seems to be more appropriate. Especially quick sort of sketches like this one. I'm going to put in a little bit of background. Maybe there's a small wave crashing on the beach in the distance and then little ripples going off towards the horizon. I'm not actually going to put a horizon in though, because that then would draw the eye too far away from the figure. She is, after all, the focal point of this sketch. A little bit of sand around her feet. Once you've established the basics of the form that you want to work on, then of course we go in with the shadows and the lights and darks. Need to be thinking about where the sun is going to be coming from. I think this is a very hot day, so it's about midday, the sun is pretty much overhead. Therefore we will have lots of shadows on the undersides of things. Now more detail on the hat to balance up with the rest of the picture, into the groove around the brim. Underneath the t-shirt there, and around the edges of the form. Shadows in there to put the definition of the leg, making the leg seem rounder. Now I'm going to start going in under the stick that she's holding to write her name in the sand, to put the darker shadow on the lower section of that. Little chin poking out under there. About all I've done of the face there. Kind of hides it really rather effectively. And there are a number of artists who actually do paint like this as their signature. You never really see the face. And in some respects, that enables the person viewing the picture to transpose the people that they know into the picture. So this is a fairly classic pose. Maybe a child would be using a spade rather than a stick. But really, any person who has young people in their life who has taken them down to the beach will kind of recognise this sort of action, this sort of scene. And that's that one finished then, a little sketch of a little girl down at the beach. Not quite the same as going to the beach in reality, but it's still really quite nice anyway. I hope you enjoyed that. Take care, and I shall look forward to seeing you next time.